Come on. Yo, be natural. Be natural. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Man Takes Shoes Out of Box, the episode where I withdraw some shoes from a box and tell you what I think of them. Today we are talking about these, the Nike Book Ones in the Hike colorway. I feel like the Book One has taken forever and a day to arrive to us. There's been so much berry buildup, so much talk and debate in the sneaker community as to whether or not this shoe is cool or not. And now that they're finally here, it's like, cool. I think one of the biggest reasons that this sneaker has been such a hot topic of discussion is because it's not just a strictly performance-based basketball shoe. It's a shoe that's conception was motivated by both on-court performance and off-court styling. These dropped on April the 6th, last Saturday, in a little bit of a sneaky exclusive type way, I want to say. And I think it was the same for you guys over there in the US. There were a few select retailers that carried fairly limited quantities of this stock. And so whilst this was a slightly limited release, I've heard rumors that these are going to be wheeled out through more retailers like Foot Locker and maybe even a Nike Sneakers App release later on this month. Let's get into the shoes, starting off with the packaging. It's a fantastic box. The dimensions are three-dimensional, a rectangular quadrilateral, big Nike text on the top. You've got D-Book's signature, you've got chapter 1. It actually, like from this angle here, looks like a book. You get me? So that's pretty cool. Getting into the shoes, the colorway is called Dark Stucco and Light Silver. And when you get these in hands, they almost look a little bit olive greeny. The name of the shoe is called The Hike, and this namesake is inspired by Booker's love of the outdoors, going on big hikes with his big dog Haven. And so it's a very outdoorsy inspired colorway, but as we cruise through some of the different motifs and some of the different materials, it seems like Devin Booker is hiking in the Amazon jungle. Starting off with the silhouette has come under fire from some people who reckon that these basically just look like an Air Force One or maybe like a Blazer mid with a fat midsole. And to the people out there making those claims, I've got to say I sort of agree with you. These definitely look like they contain the DNA of past Nike models from the 80s. Very simple design. These don't come with a whole heap of like TPU scaffolding like a lot of other performance b-ball shoes have. They don't have any straps. There's no flashy carbon. It really is just a basic looking shoe. And to be honest, I think it's that aesthetic that lends itself towards these being made for casual wear as well. In terms of the materials, you get a little bit of a mishmash of what can only be described as reptilian themes. On the toe box, you have this sort of suede material that kind of looks a little bit like alligator skin. Around the front portion, the vamp, you have some more crocodile type skin. The mid panels feature this kind of textile material that almost looks like a giraffe. You've got the pony hair that wraps around the ankle collar. I've heard that this is because of Haven, his dog. Same sort of soft suede material on the toe box also wraps around the eyelets. And then you've got the same faux crocodile material on the tongue, which also transitions into this breathable mesh material. The midsole and the outsole are pretty squishy to the touch, and it also features this sort of texturing. The outsole features this herringbone traction pattern, and it also has an orange insert that is supposed to be inspired by the Phoenix Suns color, of course. You've got some air zoom technology, as well as I think an air unit in the heel of the shoe. And in terms of the book touches, you have the book reference on the tongue. We've also got his family crest on the inside of the tongue label. Got the insoles, which are really nice and soft and squishy, and they feature this barcode which has a reference to his jersey number, the 001, as well as a number of other numbers that corresponds to where he grew up and college, and I think the area code for Phoenix. You also have the heel tab going down the spine, which features chapter 1. And a pretty cool touch is the design of the heel tab, which has been designed to make it look like pages of a book. And you also get the 96 as well, which no matter which way you spin it or look at it, reads 96, and that's for Devin Booker's birth year. And you only get one set of laces, these flat, gray, greenish ones that come installed. The swoosh is kind of interesting. It's a little bit of an oversized swoosh, which is pretty cool. The outline of it is embroidered, and the swoosh itself is again in this sort of brushed suede material that again is inspired by some kind of reptile. Now this is a Nike premium shoe, and so the elevated materials justify the slightly more elevated price point. These were £145 or $150. And I've got to say, in hands, they do look pretty good if you're into that type of stuff. If you're into animal prints, it's a bit of a no-brainer. If you're turned off by animal prints, I can totally understand these not being your cup of tea, but I think in hand, they're really nice. The shoes are sort of deceptively light. They've got this really thick padding around the ankle collar. And so at this point, I guess the best thing to do is to chuck them on foot and see how they look and feel how they feel. I know a lot of you guys are going to be interested in how these fit, and I went true to size. I normally wear a US 10.5. That's what I went with these. And listen, when you first chuck them on, they are quite snug because they've got a lot of padding, as I said before, around the ankle. So when you get into these for the first time, you definitely feel really secure in them, which is great if you're planning on hooping in these. But if you're just planning on wearing them casually and you like a little bit of extra room in the shoe, you could probably go a half size up. But to be honest, I feel like after you break these in, going true to size would be absolutely fine. In terms of the comforts, they are pretty comfortable, I've got to say. Between the soft midsole and the soft insole, they do feel like you're walking on soft clouds. They do feel secure as well. And so if you're wearing them casually and let's say you had to like run for your bus, these would be like the ideal shoe to have on. In terms of like desirability, collectability, all that type of stuff, this model did sell out, like I said before, here in the UK, and I think they were pretty tough to get over there in the USA. But I have seen them floating around on the resale market for not too much over the retail price point, so it's not a scandalous shoe in that sense. In terms of collectability, look, it's Booker's first shoe. Anytime you get a Nike Signature Athlete's first shoe, it's kind of cool in the nostalgic sense to grab them. I do feel like these are probably a little bit ahead of their time in the sense that a lot of people have been asking for something different from Nike. People have been asking for a hoop shoe that we could actually wear casually again, bringing back the heyday of Nike basketball. And with the majority of performance-based Nike basketball shoes out there being quite techy and not seemingly appropriate to rock with a fit, I feel like these come in at a nice time to really plug the gap in that market. And so I actually think it's a W shoe. I think the silhouette is very clean, it's very simple. And although there's a couple of things that I'm not crazy about with this shoe, like I'm not nuts about the fur around the collar, I'm not massively into animal prints, but I think the colorway, the gray, the sort of olive, contrasted against the white with the swoosh and the orange on the outsole, make these a pretty good looking colorway on foot anyway. And there we go, that's my review. I like them, I think they're cool. Finally, a basketball shoe from Nike that you can quite happily and easily take from the court to the streets. What do you guys think? Feel free to let me know what you thought of the review down below. Always interested to read your guys' comments, and thank you so much for the support on the channel. I really appreciate it. Be sure to like the video before you guys bounce, and I will see you on the next one. Take care for now, and peace.